Toastmaster members and honorary guests, good evening. This evening I'd like to talk to you about your path to DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. So what that is the highest level that you can achieve in Toastmasters when you join, or actually after you join and after you work your way up. So what I want to start with is I want to play a game. So this is going to be called the recognition game. I want everyone to go ahead and stand up. That means everyone. Stretch those legs, we're sitting a long time. So, in this game, if we're going to go through the designations that it takes to become a DTM. If you possess one of the designations, remain standing. If you do not, sit down. So the first two are CL or CC. If you have those designations, remain standing. If you have it, remain standing. If you have both, remain standing. All right, send it out. Now, if you have an ACB or an ALB, remain standing. If you have both, remain standing.
Woo!
Right.
Getting serious.
If you have an ALS or an ACS, remain standing. Oh, we've got
Wait,
a winner.
Karen, you got one of them.
But I don't have both.
Yeah, he said or.
One or. So.
Okay.
You guys
Hardcore.
Hardcore.
Whoa!
If you have both, remain standing.
Look
I'll
at
go ahead and
it.
go all the way. If you are a DTM, remain standing. Thank you, James. You can sit. All right. So DTM is the final sort of goal. Now, what I want to kind of talk to you guys about, I read on the TMI website that a guy wrote, Earl Kirstein or something like that, he wrote an article on your path to, or the 2-year plan to DTM. So, Distinguished Toastmaster, there's a lot of steps to it. It could take a long time. It could take 5 or 10 years, but this guy did it in 1 year, 11 months. So it can be done very quickly. And he wrote a plan on how to do that. It's a 3-step plan. Read the manuals, make a plan, and follow your plan. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about those things and why. You know, why do this? I mean, I joined Toastmasters to become a better speaker, so what is this whole DTM thing about? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, step 1 of that plan is to read the manuals. So, the first 2 manuals we all get whenever we join Toastmasters is a CC manual and a CL, Competent Communication and a Competent Leadership Manual. So all of us, if any of y'all are like me, you take both those manuals and you're like, I joined to be a speaker, so I'm going to look at this one, the CL, I'm going to toss that aside. And you kind of don't even look at it. It's confusing. There's a lot of projects in there, and it's not exactly easy to understand what to do, but the CC one is easy. You get scheduled for a speech, you look through the first manual, what do I have to do? You stand up here and you get evaluated, your first project's done. So it's easy to understand how to walk through that. But what I want to urge you to do is pick up that CL manual. Most of us in here, as we're sitting here and we're being the off counter or the timer or the Toastmaster, you're completing the assignments for that CL manual, but you're not getting credit for it unless you bring the manual. So I want to give props to Kate tonight because in her email out to everybody, she urged everyone to bring a CL manual, which is one thing that as a club we do not do enough, is we don't bring that CL manual and hand it to somebody to get evaluated, because that's all it takes to finish that. And so then if you're in Toastmasters for probably a year, that CL manual, you completed that thing in the amount that you're participating. So step 1, read those manuals. Step 2, make a plan. So everyone's got a handout that I gave to everyone, so pull this up. This is the member achievement record. I've provided one for everybody so you can have it. This is your best tool for making a plan and following your plan for becoming a DTM. On here, the very first thing on the front page, you see the leadership track. So these are the designations that I read through whenever we played the recognition game. And these are how you follow these steps is how you become a DTM. Inside this packet are all the step-by-steps on what to do at each of these stages along the way. And so if you'll follow through this, it's got check marks in there, it's got dates, it's got things for you to kind of track along the way so you know what to do at your next step and what you can work towards. And so just kind of creating a plan for that will help you to follow this and become a better leader. And some of the things that as a club we're doing to help you become better leaders are, I've been working with our incoming VPE, Mark Tatum, and we're working to create a tracker sheet that we're going to include with the schedule and the roster so everybody can have access to it that shows you where everybody's at. And I've been sending out emails to request your level of what manuals you've completed and what level you're at. And so we're collecting that information so it's available to everybody. Also, we've got an anxious to speak list that if you have come to me and said that you want to speak a little bit more, I've provided an anxious to speak list. I put your name on that list. I've given that to the Toastmaster each week so that you can speak more than the number of times you're on the actual agenda. And what that does is because we don't have enough space to fill everybody for the entire time, more than 2 or 3 slots in a 6-month term. But if you come to us, you'll notice that there have been people who have been speaking a lot more than 2 or 3 times this term, and that's because they come to us and they come to the Toastmasters and they're proactive. So if you want to speak more and move faster along this track, just let us know and we'll put you on the anxious to speak list. So the next thing is follow your plan. And this member achievement packet that I handed out, which is also available on the TMI website, the Toastmasters International website, is your best tool to use to follow that, to kind of create a plan and follow that plan and see it through to the end. So, and also, again, like I mentioned before, bring those CL manuals and start filling those out. I mean, if you make that your first goal, because the speeches will happen, but if you make that CL a manual a goal, and once you get that accomplished, it feels good. It feels like you've accomplished something, and now it's easy to move on to the next step because you've got a little bit of momentum going. So the next question, why do all this? I mean, it seems like a lot of work. I just want to learn how to become a better speaker. I don't care about the whole leadership track and all that, but like anything, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. And I can tell you personally speaking, as I've joined Toastmasters and I started going through some speeches, I'm kind of getting to know everybody in the club, but as I became an officer and became part of the leadership team in this club, I've gotten to know everybody a lot more. I've gotten to know the ins and outs of how the club works. I've gone to the conferences and I've started meeting people outside this club and gotten to know how the conferences work and how those are put together and how other clubs do it. So the more you get involved, the more you engage yourself in the club, the better off you're going to be and the more you're going to get out of it. So the last thing I want to do is I want to go through and do some recognition because since I joined, I think it was almost 6 months to a year, we didn't have anybody that achieved a CC or CL in this club or any other designation that I was aware of that was recognized. And so since May 16th of this year, we've had a whole lot of progress since then. And so the very first one, Mike Mao, got his CC May 16th. And all of this has happened since then. So Mike Mao, Robert Kleeman, and Brett Thompson have all achieved a CC. So Mark Tatum and Aparna Verma have both achieved their CLs. So Tammy Cool and Paul Bukowski have both achieved their ACS. So excellent job. And now people that are very close are Mark Tatum has 1 speech away from achieving his Advanced Communicator Bronze, which is his next level. Wow. Excellent. Robert Kleeman he's just, since this time, I've already listed his name as achieving his CC, but he is also 1 speech away after tonight from completing his first advanced manual. So that's excellent. He's already moving quickly through that. Cheryl G is 4 speeches away from her ACB. I'm going to read really quickly through here. Kate Shee is 3 speeches away from her ACS. Dr. Dan is 3 speeches away from his CC. Javier, he's already on track to finish his CC by the end of our next term. And last but not least, Tammy Cool is 7 speeches away from becoming our next DTM.
Whoa! Whoa!
All right, so this can be done. If anybody is interested in moving down these tracks, learning a little bit more, figuring out more information on how to do it, speak to me, speak to the others who have done it before me. I'm not as far as many of these people, so speak to people who are ahead of you, figure out how they did it, figure out how you can do it. Thank you.